In the Making Knowing Project, we emphasize process over product. Failure is a great thing because you realize you have to do it another way, and it makes you extend your experimentation. I'm going to show you the Making and Knowing Lab dye bath preparation from last year. So we started actually by making the mordant the dyers asked us to make 4 months ahead of time. This was a mixture of water. They called for rusty nails. We could not find rusty nails in New York City. And so we used this very rusty pot that we had from a previous experiment. We added, they said, 1 piloncillo of sugar. It began to ferment. And these are the ones that we made last year. We needed about 400 grams to 4 liters of water. And we're going to boil it for 40 minutes. Once it comes to a rolling boil, you're going to turn it down to a simmer on your hot plates. But then we'll just leave it to sit until next week at this time when we will use it to dye with Bertha and Mateo when they arrive.
I'm just writing down what I just saw. The fiber floated up to the top and it made me feel like the concoction was thicker than it actually is. But once I stirred it, it feels like it's equal parts fiber, equal parts water.
Let's see yours. Okay, that's good. Oh, yes, you need lots more water. Oh, how interesting. We are going to do dyeing today with Bertha Estrada Huipe and her son, Mateo Estrada Rodriguez.
Gracias a la maestra Pamela. Mi nombre es Bertha Estrada Huipe y vengo de Ahuiran, Michoacán, México. Y me da mucho gusto compartir mi clase de tinte natural.
So today we're going to be dyeing with 5 different dyes: coconut husk, which you all made last Wednesday; Brazil wood, which we then made on Monday, brought by Bertha and Mateo; indigo, which is also Mateo and Bertha brought. They got it in trade with another artisan, and it comes from Oaxaca and Veracruz. As you heard, they come from Michoacán. Similarly, the Brazil wood, it's grown in southern Mexico, in the Yucatan, but it actually began to be grown there as a result of being brought from further south in Central America. So these are some Mexican dyes, some Central American dyes. And then the oak bark is from last year. We created the dye last year, but we did not try alum mordant.
Sí, por eso me da miedo que se quiebre.
No, pero
no.
Usted
dele.
So you have your tasks. This is station 1, and this is station 2, Brazil wood and iron oxide. Station 3, indigo and alum. This is the alum side. Brazil wood and alum, and oak bark and alum. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is start boiling. We're going to wring out the dyes. We're going to then divide them up among the stations. Then we are going to heat them and dye as soon as they reach boiling. You want to first dye a handkerchief in it with no mordant. Just 1 handkerchief in each dye bath, okay? Now, there's a little difference between the iron oxide mordant and the alum mordant. The iron oxide you put directly into the dye bath. The alum, you put your clothes into, or the cloth, into the alum bath first, okay? So those of you who are using alum, actually you need to wring out your cloths, your clothes, or the handkerchiefs, and already put it in the heating alum bath, which is now on station 5. So go ahead and get your stuff, wring it out very well, and bring it to your station. Put it on your plate. Make sure your plate is clean. So all of you will get whatever colors you get today. then if you want to continue to experiment with dyes, and experimentation is the name of the game with dyes, as I've talked about before, dyes are very, very ancient, and it always meant experimenting with natural materials. So they are kind of ground zero for human engagement with the natural environment. They continue to be a source because they're such, textiles were such an important trade good from, the beginning of human history, really, that the experimentation with dyes went on through the early modern period that we're mainly concerned with in this class into the 18th century. And it was only in the early 19th century that laboratories in universities in chemistry began experimenting with dyes. They were the first laboratory in universities at all in Leipzig, and they started their experiments on dyes because they were so valuable, and that's really why universities began to have labs for valuable trade goods, among other things.